Hey, this is Wolf Ranger, and today I will be teaching you how to make your very own one command. I do know that there are a few basic tutorials out there, but I wanted to make a really in-depth tutorial basically on how to do pretty much everything. So I'm gonna be showing you guys all the steps you'll be needing to do basically. This is kind of an overview of what we'll be doing over the next few videos. So yeah. So step one is ideas. So here I've just written down a few ideas, maybe to inspire you. So classes like my assassin class, if you've seen it, mini games, Tetris I've seen by Slacks, one command contest winner. Bending, what I mean by that is elements like fire bending, air bending, water bending, vehicles, bosses, server plugins like anti-grief. That's also kind of a tool. Mods and pets. So if you see a mod that you see, then maybe you want to try and recreate it with one command if you know how, and if you don't, maybe I'll teach you how in this series. And tools, so basically something like world edit or something in one command I've seen done before. Basically kind of my server protection is a mix of a server plugin and a tool. Server plugin isn't actually like a plugin for a server. It doesn't work the same way as it would be way easier to put on a server. And and a tool basically, because server plugin is like something that's existed as a plugin, like server protection, and a tool because it's helpful. Build it out. So basically, you want to actually build it before you put it into one command form through a generator, which we'll get into in a minute. So basically, you would want to use a clock powering it. So then you got your command block. So say it consists of. I like to actually group it. So say this, I would make this set of command blocks. Say this powers the poison blade or something, and then okay, I make another stream going off or something. Okay, and this is like, and then this powers the armor or something, like this group powers the armor, etc., etc. So let's just quickly remove all these blocks while I talk. So I'm going to be showing you how to make these clocks. This might be basic depending on what your skill level is. I am doing this tutorial assuming that you have no knowledge, so that might be helpful for some people, maybe not. But nonetheless, I hope you learned something from this tutorial. Maybe not this episode in specific, but over the whole thing. So, the first clock I'm going to show you how to build is just follow what I'm doing. Make sure you're facing the same direction when I do it, because otherwise the repeaters won't line up. Then add a lever. Flick it real quick, and there you go. Command blocks up to it and constantly power them. This is a command I personally build. When I do one command, it's a toggleable clock. Right-click that, pull the lever, and then add redstone formation like that. Add a few redstone dusts. Add your commands again. So like group them. That's that group, and then run more off. So you can do that. Let's just quickly fix that. Okay, so fill clocks as well. That is technically well, not technically, is the best clock, but it is a little more complicated to build, and it takes a little more time. So note that you do need to actually put the commands in order. You can't swap these two around and swap the coordinates. Redstone block has to be on top, stone has to be on bottom. So redstone block on top, control middle mouse button, and a redstone block. So stone on bottom, one in the middle, just do redstone on top, and then add a redstone block in the middle by shift clicking. Oh, I activated that in the wrong spot, and the wrong spot. There we go. And then it's impossible to break it unless you break one of these commands. So these are the two commands. I'll be leaving them in the description. And also you can change this number to as big as you want, but you have to change the other number and reactivate the clock as well. This actually might break my other clock. I'm afraid it might. So now it reaches over here. And then I could change it back as well, just by changing this last number, but you have to change them both. And also, if you really know what you're doing, change to -5, but then you wouldn't need to know how to build this, so yeah. Anyway, so now we're back where we are. So those are 3 clocks you can build for your one command machines while you work, basically, but you don't actually need to put those commands into the generator, because the one I will show you, you don't even need to do that. So useful game rules while you're building. Daylight cycle, constantly light out. Mob spawning, if you change it to night to test something, mobs don't spawn. And so basically you only have mobs that you want to spawn, and command block output, because if you didn't, say I had a bunch of commands running over there setting scores, which we'll get into if you don't know about, it would constantly notify me, because commands like to be like, guess what I did, and then like, hey, I gave you an effect, hey, I gave you an effect, like 20 times a second if you got a clock like that, because say they're holding an item and you get an effect from it, then it'll show you 20 times a second, but if you type that, it'll show you 0 times a second, so that's awesome. I just want to quickly show you actually how fast these clocks are. So I just had that minus there to break the command, and as you can see, my feed is filled. So let's just break the command again, and go to the next step. And by the way, remember, we'll be doing more episodes. These are just the basic overviews. Generator. So there's basically an awesome online generator that I will be leaving a link to in next episode. I'm showing you how to use in the next episode, I'm thinking. Or actually, no, in a few episodes, I would believe. Anyway, so, it is really helpful, and it is a little complicated to use. Actually, not really, once you learn it. Some stuff is kind of hard to use than others, some of the tools, but I'll show you how to use them. And it's not that hard to use. Also, Crush Pixel made a filter if you have that, or if you want to get it. That'll work too, but I would recommend this, because you don't have to download anything. It's all online, and it's got more tools. So, yeah. But you do have to spend a little more time using it, I would believe. I would say maybe. I think it would end up being the equal amount of time, but you don't have to download anything. And finally, share. Also the same dude, Mr. Greto, I'll be leaving a link to, in the description, has, also made a website for sharing one commands. Now, also, you could obviously share them on YouTube, and also you might want to leave your command on Pastebin, but I personally just link it to the one command post. You can actually post your one command, on that site, basically. And what's cool is, if you know, basically the generator, you post all your source commands, and you could share your source commands. So normally, if they use the generator, you could see their source commands as well, so kind of understand how they did it. And also, you can embed a YouTube video in your post, but not necessary. And that can also get your channel a little more exposure, and it could also get the command a little more exposure through the video, get the video a little more exposure. So all in all, a good sharing site, and I use it for every one command I post. So yeah, guys, that's basically the basics of making a one command. Be sure to subscribe to see the next episode, to learn the more in-depth stuff if you're interested, because I'm hoping to get that out in a few days. So that's all I want to say for this episode. So thank you all for watching, and this is Wolf Ranger signing out. Peace.